Okay, welcome back. Here we are. We're at the start of our game, and this video is going to teach you how to survive your first night on Mars. So we've just finished the prologue. That's now been completed, and our escape capsule is now coming back down to Mars. So this video is going to teach you everything you need to do when you first land on Mars so that you don't die. In future videos, we'll go through all the different elements and tutorials. These will be shorter videos. If you haven't seen the first video, the introduction to the game, please watch that. It is an hour long, but it teaches you everything about the start. But if you're already at this point, this is fine. You can just watch from here. This assumes you already understand how the heads-up display works. You already understand how the inventory works. And you already understand the controls. You know how to build things. You know how to recycle things. So we're going to assume you already know that. And now we're going to get started. So the first thing that's going to happen is you'll be within your capsule. Okay.
Escape procedure completed. Emergency power generator active. Emergency oxygen generator active. Comms down. Detected nearby. Underground ice. Abandoned buildings. Small vehicle. Alpha base status. Critical damage. Radiation alert. No information on survivors. Caution, this escape pod is designed only for short-term survival. Lockers contain basic building materials and food rations sufficient for a few days. Recommended construction of well for water and solar panel for spacesuit recharging. Emergency access to technologies beyond your experience level temporarily granted. Obtain necessary permissions and confirm through the Tech Tree tab ASAP. It is mandatory to read the FAQ. ERA is not liable for any injuries or death. Lawsuits won't be respected. Good luck.
Okay, so our objective is to survive, explore, extract, build, secure water, oxygen, and food. Check tablet for guidance. Now, during this early access, you cannot complete this. This is always going to be here. So for now, you're just going to play the game. So let's come out of our tab menu, and we're now in our capsule. So before we go outside on our first day, it is 8 o'clock in the morning. We have a day. We want to make the most of this day. There's a lot of stuff we need to do. If we look here in our inventory, we can see we have some O2 and a spare O2, H2O and a spare H2O. We have a helmet repair kit, which we'll leave down here. We have CO2. We have some food rations, free food rations, and a first aid kit. So we're just going to organize our inventory. We also have some electric cable and some water cable. Okay, so we need to get water. That's one of the first things we need to do. We then need to get food. As we look around, there's a few materials and things that we're going to be able to pick up. We can open up these overhead lockers. So we're going to do that right now. Open these up. There's a few building materials and things that we can see. Also on this side, open up these. And this is all of the stuff that you're going to see. Perfect. So there's all of our building materials. Also, here is a grinder. So we can pick up the grinder. We can pick up the jackhammer. We can also pick up, if we need to, these additional water cables and this gas cable. Also, there is a spectral detector. And there is a planting tool and a seed magazine. Now, I'm actually going to leave these in here for now. The blowtorch we're going to need. And this is another carbon dioxide bottle, which at the moment, again, I'm going to leave because I don't need it right now. I'll take the medikit. And there's another one here. I'll take that. Right, so now I've got most of the stuff that I need initially. The reason that I'm going to leave these in here is because what you'll learn at the start in inventory is you're limited on space. And so if you are to take everything, you're going to be running around trying to figure out, how do I pick this up? How do I use it? We're not going to be able to put seeds down yet because we have nowhere to put the seeds. We're also not using carbon dioxide at the moment, so we don't need that bottle. So for now, we're just going to leave those. Inside the ship, we're also going to find here an abandoned tablet. An abandoned tablet you can pick up. Once you've picked this up, you'll be able to press tab, go to your inventory, and you'll be able to see this abandoned tablet. If I right click on this, I can use it. These are how you unlock in your tech tree. So I'm going to click this, use it. We have got an ATV. These are randomized. Now, there is a way to cheat the game, but I do not recommend doing it. You can save the game. You can open it. If you don't get something you like, you can then reload the game, and you'll be able to open it again and get something different every time you get something new. These are all of your discovered tablets. You can access these by going to Knowledge Discovered Tablets. So this is the ATV. Now, if I go back to my tech tree, okay, and I look at the tech tree mechanics and I scroll through, so here we see basic mechanics, blowtorch, and here is the ATV. Now, this needs a blueprint. Now, the blueprint has been unlocked. That means that I can, if I do this, which is required unlocking technology, small accumulator upgrade. Now, the small accumulator is in electricity. So if I come across here, we'll see, and it's quite a way down, this is the small accumulator upgrade. This needs a blueprint. Not only that, but also I have to complete all of these other parts before I can get there. So I have to come all the way through here to unlock this before I can unlock the ATV. Now we have botany. These are all of the things you can do within the botany skill tree. The electricity, chemistry isn't active right now, materials and mechanics. In order to get skill points in botany, you need to do botany stuff. You can learn that through the FAQ. For electricity, you need to do electrical stuff. For materials, you need to do grinding and building. And for mechanics, you need to do drilling and mining. So this is for mining ores. This is for building. This is for electricity. And this is for planting. That's how you will build up your skills in these levels. So now we've got everything we need. The other thing to show you here is if you click on this, you can fill your oxygen bottle. It says there's no bottles to fill. So here I can go to my inventory. I could swap out my O2 if I needed to. And I can fill this bottle by clicking on here. Clicking fill oxygen. Come out. And remember to take the bottle from here. That has filled my oxygen. Now, in this starter capsule, you have unlimited oxygen. So I don't know if this will change later, but in early access at the moment, this is unlimited. It shouldn't be, but it is. And I think it's just to give you that helping hand to start. This should reduce, but it doesn't. So use it for now, but just be aware that, you know, you shouldn't rely on this. Part of the game is to be able to figure this out. So the other thing we have here is a 3D printer. We can click on this. Now, inside this screen, we can build anything that we need to build. So if I wanted to build a new first aid kit, I can do that, but I require some silicon. So I have to go out and mine some rocks to get silicon to come back to be able to print a first aid kit. In my inventory, I can see my player container and I can see the printer container. So here I can swap items from the player container to the printer container. This is where all of my ores will go. Then I will be able to print. I will print the item that I want. And then I go back to the inventory and I go to the printer container. So resources go in a resource inventory and printer container is where the output of printed items are. Once you print something, you would then transfer it to your inventory. So resources go from the player container to the resource inventory. You then print, you then take your items to get them out. And that is how this will work. Okay, so that is everything you need to know about the capsule. So what do we need to do? Well, we're hungry and we need to hydrate. We can take these rations that are up here. There are a few rations. We'll take those right now. Also, we'll take this building material. There's electronics. There is cement. There are solar panels. There's a pack of screws. Across here, there is some glass plates, aluminium plates, small pipe, steel plates, and a small engine. And that's it. That is everything from our overhead component, our overhead lockers. We can close these down now. Whilst we're in here, we could take off our helmet if we want to, because inside we can see there is exterior O2. But as soon as we open the door, that will then disappear. So we're going to keep our helmet on. We need to hydrate. That's what we need to do right now. So we can go to inventory. We can eat our processed food. We're now at 82%. That's great. We need to build a well. So in order to build a well, the first thing we need to do, we're going to open up the hatch. Exterior O2 has now disappeared and we can come outside. All right, so now everything that we can do around here. So we can see there's rocks around that we can mine. There's a base over there we can go and visit. And at the moment, what we're going to do is we're going to click on our tab, go to our inventory, and we're going to arrange our hand tools. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put up here a blowtorch, our grinder, our jackhammer, and our spectral detector. Also, we've got our electric cable and our O2 cable. Here's our spare O2, our spare H2O, our CO2, our processed food, and our first aid kit. You might want to put your first aid kit and your rations up here, but just be careful that if you press buttons 5 and 6, you will start to use your rations. So if you don't want to use these accidentally, just put them down here. It depends on whether you want them or not. Everything else doesn't matter. We can kind of leave everything else down here. This is just other items that we might need, building materials and things like that. Great, so let's go and build a well. Question is, where do you build a well? Well, in order to do that, we need to use our spectral analyzer. We open it up and we will see it is looking for water. It can see the water simply by, if I put it away, it goes. If I open it, there is water. So right now we have 0.4, we have 4% water. As we move closer to the water source, we can see on the spectral analyzer, we can see 25%. The closer we are to the source, the closer we get to 100%. If you put a well down where it is 0, you will not get water. If it's 4% and you put the well down, you will get a limited amount of water out. So you really want to build this where it is 100%. So move along to where it says 100%. That is right here. Best water. So here we go. Best water bearing place found. Build well. So now we're going to press tab. Go to our blueprints. Go to resources. And here we can build a well. We are very, very limited on what we can build at the start. If we look at all of our items, this is all we can build. A solar panel, a light pole, a well. We can build a plant incubator, a hydroponic shelf, and that is it. That is all we can build to start. So in resources, we're going to click on well. And now we can place our well. As long as it's green, we can place it. We can rotate it. We can make it higher or lower if we need to. All right, that's everything that we need. So we're going to place the well just here for now as a temporary measure. And we need to use the blowtorch. We can see everything that's required to build it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to build our well. This is the first thing that you will need to do to survive, is to be able to build the well. So we hold down this button to build it. And here is the well. Now there's a solar panel on top of the well, so we'll be able to see if we move around it. This is the water output here. And this is the control panel here. On the control panel, we can see there's an open socket for power. And also we can see a display. If we click on the display, we can see we are producing 6 liters per hour. We have 1 liter stored. If we have a water bottle, we can click here to fill it. If we have an oxygen bottle, we can, but we're not actually producing oxygen at the moment. In order to produce oxygen and methane, we would take away some of our water production, turn that into oxygen or methane, but that requires additional energy, which means we would need a solar power. And also we would need to have the extension to be able to do that. We do not have the extension to do oxygen and methane at the moment. In the tech tree, if we look at materials, we need to unlock this. And as we scroll across, we can see here, this is under well extension. We need a blueprint for this. And this will allow us to build the Sabatier reactor. This is a well upgrade. We'll also be able to build the oxygen tank. Another upgrade here is the methane tank and the water tank. So if we wanted to store water, store methane, and do that, we need to be able to go first. We need to build a workshop. Then we need to build the pump. Then we need to find the blueprint. And then we need to get the well extension. The way that you find blueprints on this map, you press M and you scroll out of this map. And this is where you can start to see things. Now, as you scroll out, this is the alpha base where we started. This is where we was, where we blew up. We can harvest all of this material later. Our rocket took off. It took us north. And if I press this button here, I will centralize onto my area. So this is where we currently landed and where we are. The water on the map is this icon here, this kind of droplet. This shows water. Okay, so anywhere we see this icon, we can build a well. So we can use this to get a good idea of a water source. If I look over here, there's another water source here. There's actually another water source here. So there's 2 water sources here. Okay, there's another base here. We can also see if we look around, there's another base here. This base has a question mark. A question mark means there is a tablet at this base. So if you want to just go and look for tablets, you can see the bases that you need to explore. Now this looks like the edge of the map, but as you explore north, you'll be able to keep going. You can also see, look, there's a tablet here. And as you scroll out, we can see where all of the tablets are located. There's one here, one here. So what you can do is start to go further and further out. But in order to do that, you need to survive. Initially, you're not going to be able to walk very far. In fact, you might only be able to walk to this base here. If I right click, I can track. I can use a different color. So if I want to, I can use a yellow color to track. And I do recommend you actually start where you are on your base. So we look for our capsule, which is here. We're going to right click on this and we're actually going to track and we're going to put a green marker here. We can also click on name and we can change the name of this. So we could put base because this is our first base. So we can now change the name of this. We've also changed the color of this. So we can do things like this. So I would say here, if you've mined this base or you've taken all the resources, change the name, and here you might put empty or something like this. This just allows you to track the map as you expand, and this can really help you as you grow. Because when you take all of the scrap from a base, even though the base will no longer be there, you will still see it on the map. The only thing that will disappear is the question mark once you've taken the tablet. So that's the map and how you use it. Okay, so coming back out here, we now have enough water. We have 3 liters of water stored. We can now fill our water bottle. Now there's 2 ways to do this. We can either put our water bottle here and we can click on fill water bottle. It's now filling. Now our water bottle has been filled. So we don't have it in our inventory. The reason for that is it's here. We have to now take it back. Now our water bottle has been filled. Okay, we can see we have our water bottle filled. Great. Another thing you can do, if you don't want to do that, is you can simply walk to the back, and this is the water outlet. If I click on this,
Water refilled.
this will refill my active water bottle. So this will refill the one I have on me. So I can refill any of these here at the back, or I can simply swap them out and refill them here. That is how we get water. That is the first thing we need to do, is to be able to get water. Okay, the next thing that we need to do after we've got water is we need to get electricity. So now we know we have a source for water. The next thing we need to do is we need to build an electric point. So we go to our blueprints, we go to electricity, we go to our solar panel, and we're going to put down a solar panel. We can put that down just here. Now that that's been built, we can use a blowtorch. We can build this because we have enough material to do this. And now we have power. The way that power works, as I said, if there's power source, it is blue. Input is yellow. We can take our power connector, which is in a hotbar. It is key 5 for us. We can walk over to here. We can open the socket. We can then connect the plug. We can then move the plug. And you want to be careful with your plug, your cable management as you start to run around and move. You start to see you're dragging your cable. You do not want messy cables. And then we come across to here where it's now yellow. We plug it in. And now we are using this solar panel to charge this well with a very messy cable. If you want to clean up your cables, hold down Control, left click. That's now been removed. Again, I can come across here. I can press 5. I can connect my plug straight across to here. I can connect this. Now I don't need to do this, but I'm just showing you the reasons. We're now supplying, it is actually 10. We're supplying 10. But because we don't need it, it's not doing anything at the moment. If we had the Sabatier reactor, we would have to do this. This would supply the additional power that we need. Alright, so that's everything we need to know. Now, we've taken away this cable. We can now come down here and we can see our suit. Our suit is currently at 93%. Because we have our solar panel, we can actually charge our suit by clicking on any blue outlet. There's a blue outlet. We click on that. Our suit is now 100%. So now we know we can get water. We know how to charge our suit. and we know that we can now live in our capsule. So that is what we need to do to start. But now we need to be able to get food. Well, the way that we can get food is by at the moment, until we can build a greenhouse, which is much later, we can do it in the workshop. So we need to be able to build our workshop. So here we go to blueprints. We come down to living, and we can see we don't yet have it. And the reason for that is the tech tree. We need skill points. The way that we get material skill points is by grinding. We have at the moment a well and base materials. We need a workshop. So we're going to just quickly run over to this base here, and we're going to start to grind. This is going to be towards the end of this video. We're going to build the workshop, and that is going to be how we survive our first day on Mars. So we know how to get water. We know how to get electricity. Now what we need to do is get some points. So we get our grinder out, and we can't grind things like this. Well, we want to. It says upgrade your grinder to grind this object. So all we can grind at the start are these boxes. That's it. These boxes don't really give us much. We've got a small pipe from this. That's all we got. We've got a pack of screws. We can bend down here. We can see as we're scrapping this, we can see the bar going down. And that's it. We have our new technology point. We're just going to finish this one whilst we're here. All right. So now we have a new technology point. We can also walk around. We can see, look, there's some rations on the floor here. So as we start to experience the base, there's some more boxes here. We can open these boxes. Inside there's a new small engine. We can also grind this box down. So if we grind this box, it's going to give us some more experience. And you can see at the top the icon. You see the purple icon. It appeared and then disappeared. So let me scrap this. Watch the top. We can see, there we go. We can see the purple icon. That means we got some more skill in that area. So we're getting skill points in that area. The reason that the yellow point at the moment shows 1 is simply because we have 1 point to use in that area. That means we have 1 electric point to use, and we know we also have 1 skill point. So if we go to our tech tree, we don't yet have this. We're 6.62 out of 7. So we don't yet have that skill point we need. Botany we have 0, mechanics we have 0, but electricity we have 1 point in electricity. That means once we have the workshop, because we can't upgrade this yet because we need the workshop. The workshop is in material. So to get started, we need to grind. Okay, so we need to find these boxes. There's some more rations there. We'll just grab those. That's helpful. We're going to grind these boxes to get that point that we need. There's nothing else we can do at the moment. Now we have a new technology point. And we can see now above at the top of the screen, the 1 is in materials. That means if I come now to my tech tree, I can now unlock the workshop. I right click and hold this. I've now spent my point and I have a workshop. This gives us the workshop, an airlock and a ramp. I can now go back to my electricity, and because I have the workshop unlocked, I can now spend this point in my transformer. Now I've been able to upgrade. Whilst I'm here, I'm going to look around. Is there anything else on the floor that I might want to pick up? Here, there is an ATV. But the ATV, look, has a broken circuit board, which means I can't use it. I can't get on it. So I'm going to take the circuit board from here. I've got a broken circuit board now. I can see that in my inventory because it's orange. This is broken. I can repair this later. I'm going to keep walking around. I'm going to see, is there anything else to pick up at the moment? There's nothing else to pick up. So let's go inside whilst we're here. Okay, we're going to do that. We've got a couple of days, so we're not really pressured, but we do want to be aware that it is daytime at the moment. So in here, we can open up these panels. Inside here, there is a small circuit board. We can also open up these lockers. This is going to allow us to look. Now, here we have a medium circuit board. This is great. Now, the RNG of the loot table, when you load the game, it's all predetermined. Here's a big circuit board. Great. Let's keep looking around. Nothing else here. Here we can see there's a solar panel. Open up this screen. There's another small circuit board. Great, there's a box here. Now, I'm not going to open this box at the moment because I'm going to show you something. If I press escape, if I go to options, if I go to interface, if I see show interactables, it says on button press. If I turn this to always and I accept, now I can see where all of the items are. So I can see there's an item up there, an item up there. I can see there's something in there. If you don't want to miss anything, this is a really good way for you to be able to see things. It's kind of cheating. So I would recommend you don't do this unless you're really, really stuck. It kind of griefs the game a little bit. So just have it on button press. And that way it means you need to explore. So whilst you have the ability to cheat, I recommend not doing that. It's the same as with the tablets that I mentioned earlier. There's a way to cheese the game to be able to get more tablets or to choose the blueprints. I wouldn't do that. If you do that, you're kind of stealing from the experience of the game, and I don't recommend you do that. So at the moment, I think this is a bug, by the way, this being misty. I think they'll probably fix that. Tablets are green. They're always outlined green, so I can pick the tablet up. I can walk around, look around. Part of the fun of this game at the start, part of the excitement of this game is being able to explore. And so I don't want you to cheat by seeing everything, running around, and taking away that part of the game. I can also scrap the desk. Now, with the desks, I can scrap the items on the desk for additional materials. So what I mean by that is if I scrap this, let me just scrap this chair so I can do this. Now, again, I'm trying to get materials at the start of the game. Materials are very important. Now, I can scrap this desk. If I scrap the desk, it will destroy the monitor that is on the desk. I can also scrap the monitor. So if I kind of jump up here, if I just kind of hard to get to it at the moment. There we go. I'm on the desk now. I can just scrap this monitor itself. So there we go. The monitor's gone. So the kind of hit points are a bit weird. But if I do this, I scrap that, I can get some materials for that. If I scrap the desk, I will not get the materials for anything on top of the desk. Now, I'm not going to sit there and scrap a plate and a cup. There's no point. But this could be important. For example, here is a great example. If I scrap this desk, I will miss the opportunity to scrap this lamp. If I scrap this lamp, and again, it's I need to be careful where I'm doing it. So it says I'm unable to grind this object. The reason is because it's trying to grind the base behind it. So you need to kind of move your grinder around. And it's not always easy to do this, but what you'll find is as you're doing this, I'm just going to jump up onto this desk here to do this. I'm going to move the grinder around a little bit as we do this. Again, they will fix this. It's the hit points are a little bit hit and miss here. Makes it a little bit difficult. But you can, as you play around, there we go, you'll start to scrap it. Now, I picked up a glass plate. Now, that glass plate, if I had scrapped just this desk, I would not have got that glass plate. So you need to be careful when you're scrapping things to make sure that you're scrapping the things on top. Now, later on, when you can scrap an entire base, when you have a level 3 grinder, if you go straight to the base and you scrap it, you will lose all of the materials for the things that are inside. Now, I'm not going to sit and grind everything here. You can do that if you need to. Again, it's important because by grinding, you'll get points. If I go to my tech tree, my materials, here we can see I have 3.23 out of 14. And the next item I need, remember, I need a pump. And then from that pump, I need a blueprint and I need a well extension, which means I need to grind to get those points. Also, I'm going to need a CO2 scrubber later. The CO2 scrubber, you remember that? That's where we get our oxygen from. 3D printer, survival capsule, other things like this we can see we're going to need here. Storage cabinets, living capsules. This is a bathroom and a living room. Freestanding tanks, long corridors, up to the point where we can get a science bench. This is a materials workbench. Now, everything here in the dark blue can only be researched at a bench. So I need the materials bench to continue. I cannot upgrade this from my tablet. I can only upgrade this from the workbench. and every one is the same. If I go to electrical, I get to a point here where I see it changes. These can only be upgraded on the workbench, meaning I need to go to the workbench, I need to click on the workbench to be able to upgrade. And the same with mechanics as well as with botany. So there are 4 different benches. There is a botany bench, an electrical bench, there is a materials bench, and a mechanics bench. You will need all 4 of those later to keep progressing. Alright, so we're going to go down now. We've done everything that we can do in here. We've uncovered everything that we need. We can now go outside. It's getting quite late in the day. It's nearly 6 p.m. The sun goes down at about 7 p.m. And after 10 p.m. you'll start to lose health by being outside. So we want to go over to our capsule. Oh, no, we don't. Sorry, I apologize. Before we do that, we got a circuit board. Remember, we got a small circuit board from inside that machine? Well, we can use that now. We can find that ATV. Here we go. And we can now click here to use, and we will put a new circuit board in. We can now close this. We can now get on this. And now we can drive. So, again, same keys, using W, A, S, and D. And we've now got ourselves an ATV. If I press V, I get a third-person view with a limited heads-up display. If I press V again, I get my heads-up display. I can see the power. Now, this only moves at 22 miles an hour. You can see the battery as well. So one of the things I can do at this point is bring this to the capsule. Okay, and we're here. We're back at our capsule. Great. Now, I don't want to be at the capsule right now. I'm going to go over to the well. I'm actually going to use this because I'm being a bit lazy. And remember, we put down that solar panel. Now, the reason I did this up here was because I wanted to show you how electricity worked. And I wanted to show you as well how it is to remove this. Now, if I go to this solar panel and I get too close to it and I start to grind it down, it's going to affect my health. It's actually going to start to hurt me. Now, it didn't at the moment, but that would normally start to hurt me. Now, you have to be careful because you could die by taking those solar panels down. So either take them down at night when you won't die, or stand far enough away. The hitbox, when you grind, it registers distance. So the closer you are, the more likely you are to get damaged. What I mean by that is if you stand far enough back and you grind your solar panel, you shouldn't die from doing that. But just keep an eye and be aware of that. Okay, we're going to get off of here. Now we're going into our first night cycle. We actually want to make sure we do put, through our blueprint, we want to make sure we do put our solar panel up. And we're going to actually put that solar panel down just here. Now the reason we're going to do that is because we want a charging point. Okay, now we can put this solar panel down. Great. Now we've got our solar panel. We can charge our suit, but also what we can do is we can charge... Oh, sorry, let me get the cable, which is 5. We can open the socket, put the charge, walk over to our ATV, which is here. And on the side, there is a charging socket. We can now charge up our ATV. And we'll be able to see if we get onto this, our battery is at 92%. Now, because it's nighttime, we're not charging this. It only charges during the day. Therefore, we're not able to do anything else at the moment. Now, before it gets too dark at night, we're going to put down our warehouse, our workshop. So, blueprints. Now we go to living. We've got our workshop. This workshop is a big building. We're going to place it. Where are we going to place it? Well, for now, I'm going to put it right here. What you need to be aware of if you place it is that there is a power outlet. We can see that right here. So choosing the direction that this goes is important because you want to choose where the power is going to be. So for now, I'm going to place this quite close to my capsule. I'm not going to place it on top of the capsule. Now, you can choose to build this wherever you want. There is no right or wrong answer here. But you want to get it to a point where you're happy and place it down. Then use your blowtorch. And you're going to want to come over here and you're going to want to build this. Alright, this is all about surviving our first night. So all I want to do at this stage is show you how to put a well down, how to put a solar power down, how to get points, how to be able to build a workshop, how to put power into that workshop, and how to put items in that workshop. That's all we're going to cover in this video. This should be a 30-minute video, so I know we're running over slightly. But that's the whole purpose of this video, is to give you an idea of how you can grind, earn points, how you can discover tablets and other items, and how we can build. Now, we can't get into here. This is locked at the moment. We can't get in. And to do that, to get inside, we need an airlock. So we go to our blueprints, and we're going to put down an airlock. We have an iris airlock. We can put that on the side of the building here. Great. Now we need to build this. So we build the airlock. We have enough materials to do this. We got them from the capsule. Right, but we can't actually get in unless we jump up. If we jump up, we can get in. Now, we're going to save our game at this point. Okay, so to do that, we're going to press escape, save game. Okay, we're going to save this. This is going to be new game, day 1. Okay, we're going to save this. Great. The reason I'm going to save this here is because if I now open up this, I'm going to get my torch. I'm going to open up this airlock. Ready? It worked. I'm okay. I'm inside. That's great. But now, if I want to go outside, I use this. It's okay. It's not too bad. It's equalized the pressure. So, what you need to be careful of is if the pressure is too different. Okay, if the pressure is too different. So, let's say there's a build-up outside and inside. The pressure can actually kill you. So if the pressure in and the pressure out is too different, it can kill you. And so for that reason, what we're going to do here is we're actually going to protect ourselves, we're going to go to blueprints and we're going to build a second airlock. Okay, we're going to have a double airlock here. So we're going to place a second one. Now I know it's getting quite late, so we're going to do this quickly. We're going to place a second airlock. And then to make it easy to get in and out, we're actually going to place a ramp as well. Blueprint ramp. Put the ramp there. Use our blowtorch. Now we have 2, so we can come in. Okay, but at the moment now, look at the pressure outside to the pressure inside. So we're going to open this. There we go. We're going to come inside. Alright, now once the pressure is matched, we can actually click this button and it will automatically open. There we go. So now when there's power, we can automatically open it. We're going to manually do it right now because we have no power. Alright, so we're inside. This is our workshop. Great. In here we have a control panel. We can click on this. And this shows us the 8 slots. But there are no structures on those 8 bays, those 8 slots. We can see how much energy we have coming in and how much energy we have going out. Now we have 15 going out. Alright, it takes 15 energy to power this building. We don't actually have enough power, which means we need to manually open these doors. Because we have no power. So what that means is we need to walk around to the side here. And this is where the power will go. So in order to do this, what we need to do is go to our blueprints. Go to our solar panel. We need to put down a solar panel here. We need to build this. Here we go. Great, this has been built. Now with number 5, we're going to put down our cable. And we're going to plug it into our building. Great. There we go. Now we've got power. So I know it's quite late at night. It's midnight. It's -67, which means my health is going down. I'm sleep deprived, which means I'm tired. I'm hungry. I need water. But we're going to come into here right now. I want to just show you this before we end this video. So now we can see during the day, we have +5 power. Okay, +5 power during the day. At night, we have 0. But we need 15 power to be able to get this to work, which means it's not going to work. Alright, so what do we need to do? Well, this is the first problem we need to fix. So in order to fix that, what we're going to do, we're going to come outside. And we're going to get some sleep right now. It's too cold, it's too dark. So we're going to come into our capsule, close the door. This will go from -76 to 21 degrees. Okay, great. Now, things that I can do here. Firstly, I can replenish my oxygen as we talked about. That's important. Fill my oxygen bottle. Remember to take my oxygen bottle. Okay, now I need to eat something because I'm hungry. So I'm going to consume some food. And I'm going to swap out my water bottle. Now I can sleep. But you can only sleep in a chair up to a maximum of 8 hours. So I can only sleep in until 9:28. Well, I don't want that much sleep. I'm going to sleep until just 8 o'clock in the morning. This is how we sleep. This is how we skip time. It's also how we get through those night cycles. So that is how in day 1 we will get through. Now, what I wanted to show you in this video, and you can do this in one day. Obviously, I'm talking through at a slower pace. But what you can do here in day 1 to finish this off is you can get enough power into the base. Now, I'm not going to cover that in this video. I just wanted to kind of give you an introduction as to how this works. So I'm going to take down this solar panel. I'm going to click this cable. And that is where we started. We've got our well up there, our water well. Okay, we have our workshop with our airlocks. We have our capsule. We're charging up our ATV. And we've been over to that base. That's everything we've covered in this first video. In the next video, I'm going to talk to you about electricity and how that works. It'll be a much shorter video. But this is how you survive your first night on Mars. So now we have the ability to get food by going to basically find rations that will survive us the next few days. We can get water. We can get oxygen. The next thing we need to do, and I just need to do this to end this video, is I need to show you inside here. So we go inside. And we need to know how we're going to make food. And this is important. So we don't have power in here at the moment. We need to fix that. But if I go to blueprints, I look at food. In main hab, I can put down these 2 items. A plant incubator, which I can put down. And I can also put down a small hydroponic shelf. Okay, I can then build these. These take additional power. So whenever you put new items in here, they'll take additional power. So now, if I come back to this display, it will tell me that before it was 15, it's still 15 at the moment, but once these are being used, they'll take power. And you need to make sure that you have enough power to be able to do that, because here's the problem with food. We need to make food to survive. That's the first thing we need to do. Water, oxygen, and food. And that's the purpose of this video, is helping you to do that. So here, if I come into here now, I can take the seed magazine and I can take the plantation tool. Remember these 2 from earlier. We still don't need the carbon dioxide. Now I come back into my hab. Again, you can do all of this on day 1. And if it takes you a couple of days, it's not a problem. So we're going to go inside. And now we're inside. What I'm going to do here, just to show you this, is I'm going to go to my inventory. Okay, and I'm going to get this planting tool. So I'm going to put the planting tool in my inventory here. I have 40 potatoes. Now I can, as we start, use this. Now this is our incubator. And I'm going to talk about this in another video. We're going to talk about how this works. So I want you to know how to survive day 1, which is why this is important. When we get to the greenhouse, we'll go through this in depth. But basically how this works, and again, I'm going to cover this in another video, is you will use your potato gun to put a potato in a spot. You can see all the spots where we can put them. This is stage 1 of 2. So we just put a potato in. Now, this potato is at growth 0%, plant stage 1 of 2. This will grow here to 50%. Once it is 50%, I can pick it up and I can now place it here. This is growth stage 2 of 2. Now you could put it directly here and it will do stage 1 and 2. But if you do that, you will only get 3 potatoes from it. If I start and it gets to 50% in the incubator and then I move it to here for stage 2, I will get 4 potatoes. I will get 25% extra yield by using the incubator first. But what you need to be aware of, and this is important, is here we have now, can we see we're in slot 6 and we have a demand. We have a demand for electricity and we have a demand for water. Now, if I add this demand, so let's just say the supply is going to be 1, and let's say the supply is going to be 1, I am now taking minus 16. Also, let's say this is the same. It needs 1 water and 1 electricity. Now I need 17. So I need to make sure I have enough electricity, and I need to make sure I have enough water. And so we're going to talk about this very briefly now so that you understand how this works, but I'm going to cover this in other videos separately. But I want you to understand, as you're doing this, the importance of survival. So on the side here, we have our electric input. We also have our oxygen input, which we can't do yet. And we have our water input. Well, the water input is very, very simple. We simply come up to our water. We'll take our water pipe, which is on hotkey 6. And from here, we'll be able to connect this. Now, before we do this, we want to grab some water. Because once we've connected it, we can no longer use this well unless we disconnect it. So before we do this, we're going to grab some water. And we're going to fill up our water. We're going to go to our inventory. We could, at this point, grab this hose, connect it to here, and we can run this all the way down to our workshop. Now from here, we're going to connect this. This is now connected. Great. So now we've connected water up to our workshop. If we go inside and we have a look inside, now remember we still don't have power, so we have to use this manually. But if we go inside and we check on our tablet, and the reason I'm doing this is that you can start to understand and get used to this, because this is important. Now if we click on here, we can see we have plus 6 litres of water per day. We're using minus 2 litres of water per day. So, per hour, sorry. This is per hour, sorry. This is hourly supply. So, we have plus 6 and we have minus 2. Now, built up in the supply of the well, we have 63 litres. This shows you your total supply. So, we have 64 litres and we're using minus 2 litres per hour. Now, at the moment, the solar panel only works during the day. That means that we're getting plus... we have a 12-hour day cycle and a 12-hour night cycle. So, sunlight is 7 AM till 7 PM, and then it's day and night cycle. So, we have 12 hours each. Which means that we're going to be generating 6 litres of water for 12 hours. What that also means is that we're going to be losing 2 litres of water at night where we're not generating anything as a result of that. And so if you imagine you're generating 72 litres per day, but you're going to be using, because remember we're going to be using 24 litres per day. Okay, so if we are going to be generating per day 72, but we're going to be losing 24, that means we're making 48 litres per day. So we have a 48 litre positive supply per day. Now the night cycle, remember the night cycle, which is 12 hours, okay, times 2 is 24. We're going to be losing 24 at night with nothing coming back. What that means is that every day we are going to be generating plus 24 litres of water. That means we are a net positive in water right now. That's great. That means that we can survive with our plants during the day and during the night. But now we need to look into electricity, and we're going to cover that in the next video. So right now our plant, if we leave our plant in here, it will die. It will wilt and it will die, and we will lose that potato. So we want to make sure, it's not even growing at the moment. We want to make sure that we have electricity and we have power, water, but that we can survive through the day and through the night. That is important, because that is going to allow us to generate food. Now, at the moment, we can just eat potatoes when we have them. They don't really give us much, but that is how we will survive. So, we can use our MREs for now. We can go and explore the other bases in the local area if we need to, if you get desperate. But we know how to charge our suit. We know how to get water. We also know how to fill up our water bottle. So, although we cannot use the water directly from the well now, because our water is connected here, we can still use this. And it's a bit of a trek to go here, and you might want to build a workshop up here, but I recommend having a bit of distance, because later, as you expand, you'll use all of this area for wells. But we can come across to here, We can click on this and we can fill our water bottle. Remember that you must take it after you've done that. And now we have our water full. So our water's full up. And we can also click on here to see we have 69 litres stored. That is the same as the information that is shown in our workshop. So that's it for this video. We've shown you how to get started and survive your first night on Mars. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to set up your power and how to generate enough power to get this working throughout the day and the night cycle. So join me in the next video, and I'll put the link in the description below.